Hi, I'm Autumn Konopka, longtime friend of the Mad Poets and current president of the Philadelphia Writers Conference. I am not going to read any of my own poems for this festival. I'm going to read four poems by four different women that are all sort of just speaking to me right now. The first one is by Emily Dickinson, and this poem seems so apt to the current moment. It is poem number 185, and it goes like this. It's very short. Faith is a fine invention when gentlemen can see, but microscopes are prudent in an emergency. And I have another short poem by Emily Dickinson. The difference between despair and fear is like the one between the instant of a wreck and when the wreck has been. The mind is smooth, no motion, contented as the eye upon the forehead of a bust that knows it cannot see. The next poem that I'm going to read is by Adrienne Rich. This poem is called The Ninth Symphony of Beethoven Understood at Last as a Sexual Message. A man in terror of impotence or infertility, not knowing the difference. A man trying to tell something, howling from the climacteric music of the entirely isolated soul, yelling at joy from the tunnel of the ego. Music without the ghost of another person in it. Music trying to tell something the man does not want out. Would keep, if he could, gagged and bound and flogged with cords of joy where everything is silence and the beating of a bloody fist upon a splintered table. The next poem that I'm going to read is called Hanging Fire, and this is a poem by Audre Lorde. I am 14 and my skin has betrayed me. The boy I cannot live without still sucks his thumb in secret. How come my knees are always so ashy? What if I die before morning and Mama's in the bedroom with the door closed? I have to learn how to dance in time for the next party. My room is too small for me. Suppose I die before graduation. They will sing sad melodies, but finally tell the truth about me. There is nothing I want to do and too much that has to be done, and Mama's in the bedroom with the door closed. Nobody even stops to think about my side of it. I should have been on math team. My marks were better than his. Why do I have to be the one wearing braces? I have nothing to wear tomorrow. Will I live long enough to grow up? And Mama's in the bedroom with the door closed. And finally, the last poem that I'm going to read is by Philadelphia poet Jen McCreary. And this poem is called Sometimes Pleasing, Sometimes Not. In a fairy tale, when you think you're out of the woods, you're not. I see a saw slide the hide, go round the merry, path of needles, path of pins. I walked on knives to get here, and now my feet are maps, in case I forget how I got here. Thank you very much.
Going home. Yearning to be returning would just be learning that going back to a place is really just a case of mistaken identity in seeking tranquility where none existed, but memory has twisted, thinks all will be well in a new coronavirus hell. Rear view. 200 miles of turnpike concrete stretch away in front of the windshield. Sunlight and heat shimmer off the road. Big rigs bellow their multi-wheeled dominance. I glance in the rear-view mirror. It clouds for a moment, then clears, revealing 77 years trailing behind. Little of that route I have travelled was straightforward, nor was it level. Humped bridges crossing water, sometimes it ascends steeply into swirling low cloud. Driving uphill now, crossing the Alleghenies ridges, past the sweeping plains of Gettysburg's bloody battles, climbing again and turning amongst Appalachian hills, roaring through the Blue Mount's twin tunnels. The crags and valleys in the mirror of my past pop up and recede and disappear into reminiscence, troubled childhood, disdained school, carefree summers working at a farm through long days of harvest time, academic and growing pains, an apprenticeship in naval aviation, new companions, out into the world, searching for fresh adventures and opportunity to exercise an underused but active libido. South China Sea from a frigate's flight deck, calm and hot. Caribbean islands, coconuts, white sand beaches and rum. Putrid waters of the Red Sea, sandstorms and flies. Raging storms in the South Atlantic Ocean, evading missiles. After nearly 20 years in uniform, sudden more is a surprise. Friends lost, ships lost, something less tangible gone as well. Readjustment on returning home from many months at sea. Never the same again after that, I'm told. First marriage disintegrates. Arriving soon, the drive is finishing as the curved off-ramp leads to a slower, busier road for the last hour. Finding myself in these last peaceful 2 decades is a revelation. The mirror flickers, as if shaking itself in disbelief, then clears, shows following traffic. I cannot see where my journey will end. Summer nights. Season of summer nights, demonstrators and police fights. Enraged people chant and smash shopfront windows as they lash out for another murdered black. President eats another Big Mac. Flint cries out for drinkable water. Will city officials do what they oughta? We all can see with absolute clarity. Shouldn't have to use food banks charity to survive in this coronavirus land. Shun crowded places. Wash your hands. Wear a mask or be damned. Thank you.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy there was a cancellation so I could be here. I suppose I should announce my latest book. It's pretty late, about a couple of months, but it's prose. It's called Not Irma Bombeck, Diary of a Feminist 70s Mother. It's my own diary when I was raising my kids, and I was a strong feminist, active in the Philadelphia feminist movement at the time. Anyway, though, I'm going to read from this book, which is called, poetry and prose poetry. It's called The Essence of Seventh Grade, a kind of autobiography. The first poem, well, the first part of the book, part one, 3 parts, is called Don't, and it's about all the things that I don't, that I think maybe other people do. This first poem is called Some Quirks. I don't like bossa nova, don't like taking a walk when there's no thrift store along the way, don't say I have enough black jumpers, don't understand most poetry that isn't mine. When I was in college, I would not have wanted to spend a semester abroad or take a course or lecture series and have manage your career. When I listen to music over the radio, I don't know right away which instrument it is, and I don't like intermissions. During them, I do what I do during the concert, namely settle in with my eyes closed. I don't like to watch courtroom scenes on TV, especially just before the jury announces the verdict. That ritual is cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, for me. The second poem of the book is called Things I Don't Say. I'm returning your call. Just do the best you can. And to little kids with a question mark, okay? To homeschooling kids of school age, you need to work on this, but you're doing great in that. And I don't say good job. I might say good, but never good job. And certain words are too long, too much of a big deal. Like, I don't say mathematics, I say math. When I teach math, I don't say differentiate, I say diff. And I don't say multiply, I say mult. I do say integrate, there's no cool nickname for that. But I don't say anti-differentiate, I say anti-diff. In my own research too. No, it's not final write-up. I don't write associative arithmetics, I write assoc-arith. Yes, I'm often changing long to short, but some short words aren't short enough, like pain, death, war, kill. Some words I'd rather not say at all. The second poem has two short parts. It's called 7th Grade. 1. Goals. The teacher asked where we all plan to go to college. I didn't know any college. Ricky Klopphausen said Yale or Harvard, then David Carter said Yale or Harvard. How did they find out about Yale or Harvard? How come my parents didn't tell me about Yale or Harvard? How come my friends never talked about Yale or Harvard? Had my parents and friends known all along about Yale or Harvard, just like Ricky Klophaus? Where was I when everybody was finding out about Yale or Harvard, and what else wasn't I finding out about? And the last thing I'll read is called Friend. I didn't understand Diana when she said, I just love the United States, I really do. Every time I see the flag, my heart just goes thumpity thump. How could you love a flag? And if you could, how could you love it in the thumpity thump way? Diana's parents agreed with me, but Diana kept insisting, I don't care, I love my country. In some places, it's legal to marry an object, any object you please. There's a woman married to the Eiffel Tower. She took her spouse's name. So I guess Diana could have married the United States flag. She could take its name forever and ever, till death do them part. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Palma, and I'm going to be reading a poem from poet Fereshteh Sholevar. Through light darkly. On the street, when summer was kindly green, the white doves flew over us and offered peace. The sweet lyrics of summer called for lavish meadows. Then you and I took a stroll. You looked like a star at dawn, as if you had squeezed darkness in your fist. Let me confide in you. Most people are dying in their own particular way. Birds' wings have been clipped together. The ghosts of cockroaches are following us. Old ladies have wept all their tears and prayed all their prayers. The blinded eyes can't see the fading color of the earth. Tyrants rule, fools bow, and graves of innocence have become a sightseeing attraction. Sobbing children play with bones. Dogs live no more, and forests are images in storybooks. We were crestfallen. Then we saw a basket of blue lights hanging from the eyes of the moon, and we tasted the moonlight. We slept in indulgence and woke up in vigilance. No more nightmares on the truth of the day. At that moment, the sun came up and brought us a bouquet of pure light. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Wildfire. August heat wave, so dry, that moisture desiccates straight to salt, skipping water the way long-held grief crystallizes, weighs down the heart. Where are the riverlets of sweat, chafing breasts, flowing down the sides of the spine into this heat that invites lethargy and sleep? In the deep night, barking, an alarm that can't be ignored. Is it a fluke torrential rainstorm in the dry season? Night bombings, a train's whooshing into the station, a fighter pilot training so low that if you were standing on a mountain, you could see his face. I coax the dog into the yard, and she follows, trust overcoming instinct. We watch the sky light up, flash after flash after flash, until 4,000 bolts hurled over ocean waves into mountain forests full of duff and coastal redwoods older than any god. Like the dog, I raise my nose skyward, already smelling smoke mixed with ozone, messengers of the ash, blackened leaves, and change racing over the ridges, eating, no, devouring whatever stood in its way, with a relentless hunger we were powerless to stop. All you could do was get out of the way, resign yourself to losing it all, although this time through no fault of your own, knowing once again, this time, in the hot and unforgiving way of fire, how quickly it all changes and how quickly forgotten, like childbirth or pneumonia, the cost of surviving. What we brought, what we lost, and what remains when life goes back to ordinary, waiting for the rain.